All right, we're live for game 2 of the MLK Showdown. Force of the home team in white, Sabres in the navy and yellow. Kind of in a weird spot here with this rink. It's kind of small. So we're behind the benches. We got Harry on the bench for this game. Hopefully gives us some morale boost, water boy duties, and cheering on the team from the bench. I'm also keeping an eye on Dale here as the Bills-Broncos game's coming to a close. If he falls over here, I'll catch him. Starting off game 2 for the Force is going to be Blackburn and Cumberland with Potts, Fraze, and Kiefer. All right, starting off, Sabres enter, round behind the net. Reverse, pressured by Cumberland. Fed to the slot, picked up, spun, shot, score. Barely had time to get focused on the game there, and the Sabres are up 1. Taking the face off is Fraze, one back by the Sabres. Puck comes loose out to Murphy. Tied up in the skates, feeds it down deep. Kiefer challenges. Sabres bring it back the other way, taken away by Fraze. Fraze across the blue line into the offensive zone, finding some open ice. Shoots on the doorstep with Kiefer on the backside, couldn't connect, comes back through the crease, and the Sabres pick up the loose puck. Pressure by Potts. Blackburn getting back on defense as it's chipped ahead. Down the ice, icing's waved off. It's going to be picked up by Cumberland. Cumberland puts it around to Kiefer. Kiefer feeds across ice to Potts, tips it ahead. Stripped away by the Sabres in the neutral zone. Feeding the slot there. Zaremba takes away a stick as Warner knocks it to the corner. Fed up high. Fraze is going to be on a foot race here. Icing is waved off. Sabres the first one to it. Fighting for it. They lose it in the skates. Tied up stick there by Fraze. And the Sabres break out. Pass through the legs is Zaremba. Touched in by the Sabres. Back the other way by Warner. Puck went into the bench. 11:23 left here in the first. Face-off taken by Max McDonald. One back by the Sabres. Shot blocked in front by McDonald. Comes to the center circle as Sabres pick it up, feed it back into their offensive zone. Warner back to gather it for the Force. Spins around, looks for open ice, throws it in the neutral zone. Nobody home. It's going to go down on net. Touched to the side by the goaltender. From the Sabres. Round behind the net. Pressured by Huffman. Zaremba on the opposite side, coming up for Warner. Kept in by Warner. Puts it back down low. Puck back up to the blue line for Warner. Rips one towards the net, wide right. Huffman there to take away the advancement for momentarily by the Sabres as they break out through center ice. .10:29 remaining in the first. Force down one. Face off, one back. Blackburn up to Kelly. Kelly touches it up to Sutherland. Loses a handle on it, but lifts a stick and still pressuring for it. Puck comes towards center ice there. Picked up by Sutherland once again. Makes a move wide right. Couple of Sabres defenders there, take the puck away, trying to break it out. Blackburn coming up, fed to center ice, knocked away by Cumberland, stolen back by the Sabres. Sabres on a break towards the net, backhand one towards, sticked away by Quas. Fed back to the slot, picked up by Fryer. Out to the blue line for the Sabres. Shot blocked in front by Fryer, comes out into the neutral zone. Offside, oh, he didn't cross, he gathered it up. Sends it cross ice as Sabres re-enter. Fed on net, stick down and covered up by Quas. Face off. Controlled by the Force as Kiefer feeds it up to Fraze. Fraze through the neutral zone. A little chip and chase there as he's tied up now as the penalty's going to come up. I believe this is going to be on the Sabres. Yes, it is. Interference call. It's going to put the Force on a power play with 9:18 remaining in the first. Power play unit for the Force is going to be Kiefer, Fraze, Potts, Warner, and Llewellyn. Face-off win by Fraze. Loses an edge there. Llewellyn comes up, fires one, hits Fraze. Secondary shot by Potts is saved by the Sabres. Comes out to the blue line for Warner. Gains possession of the puck, moves towards the net, fires one, right off the mask of a defender from the Sabres. Llewellyn to keep it in at the blue line. Back down deep for Kiefer. Kiefer tied up as it comes around for Potts. Potts has got Fraze there in the slot, feeds it to him. Making a move towards the net is Murphy. Toe drag, backhand, shot, save. Secondary attempt by Potts, loose, and cleared out by the Sabres. Good scoring attempts there by Fort Wayne. 8:30 remains here in the first. Warner bringing the puck up himself. Enters with some speed. Drives towards the net. Fires one. It goes wide left. Over to Fraze at the blue line. Touches around a defender from the Sabres. Slap shots one towards the net. It's off target. Kiefer now pressures in the corner. Puck skips over Warner's stick back to Llewellyn in the defensive end. Feeds it over on a breakout pass to Fraze. Makes a move around the same defender twice. Toe drags between two. Shot. Score! Murphy Fraze. Nifty moves and puts it in to tie up the game. Fed up the ice by the Sabres. Back to Blackburn. Touched across a couple skaters here. Max McDonald comes away with it. Reverses, enters the offensive zone. Back into the neutral zone, picked up by Zaremba. Zaremba feeds it over there to Cumberland. Cumberland enters, drives towards the net, shoots one low. It goes wide right. Huffman ahead. Along with Zaremba. Fighting for the puck in the corner. Sabres gain possession of the puck, backhand it. We got a whistle. Play blown dead here. A little trouble seeing what's going on, but I believe this is going to be another penalty on the Sabres. Hooking on the Sabres. 7:22 remains here in the first. 1-1. Power play unit's going to be Blackburn, Cumberland, with Huffman, McDonald, and Zaremba on the ice. Face-off controlled by the Sabres, deep in the corner. McDonald pressures here, takes a stick away. They backhand it right to Max McDonald. Taken away now by the Sabres into the neutral zone. Back for Cumberland. Aiden picks up the puck. Winds it wide. He's going to come blazing ahead with some speed here, right behind Zaremba. Holds up at the blue line. Shot from deep, goes wide left. McDonald to pick it up off the boards. Tied up by a Sabres player. They gain it back as Huffman keeps it in. There, poke check by McDonald. Puts the puck down deep in the offensive end for Fort Wayne. Sabres try to clear once again. Kept in by Cumberland. Played with a high stick. And they're going to blow that dead. 6:37 remains here in the first. 45 seconds on the power play for Fort Wayne. Face-off won by Sutherland. Feeds it in the corner for Llewellyn. Puts it up but not out. Kept in by the Sabres now. Llewellyn back up to Fryer. Put back in deep by the Sabres around behind the net. Feeding the slot, left on the doorstep, gathered by Sutherland. Sutherland, Kelly, and Fryer lead skaters for the Force. Sutherland enters. Swings it wide. A couple players come off their skates. Not sure where the puck's at now. Kelly's got it. Kelly flips it over to Fryer. It's tipped out of that pass attempt there by a Sabres player as they gather around behind the net. Out of the box come the Sabres. Back to 5-on-5 hockey. Warner feeds it across to Kelly. Kelly holds up at the blue line. Backhands it in. Fryer to touch it down deep in the offensive zone for Fort Wayne. Stolen away by Sutherland. Sutherland by himself here as he enters the offensive zone. Wide to the right. Taken away by the Sabres momentarily as he fights back for possession of the puck. Kelly joins the mix now. Loose puck comes out for Kelly. Kelly makes a move here, walks the line, backhands it down, stolen away by the Sabres. Getting back on defense is Llewellyn and Warner. Picked up by Warner. Back down on the offensive zone. Pressured by Sutherland. He's fighting again. Another battle here for the puck. All by himself. Takes it. Gets it going the right direction. But then finally loses a handle on it after about the third defender from the Sabres. Puck comes back to Blackburn. He feeds it cross ice. Shot from deep. Kick to the side by the pad of Quas. Puck up front for Kelly. We got a 2-on-1 with Kelly and Potts. She loses an edge, has the puck, tries to feed it to Potts. And the Sabres pick it up. Stolen away by Fraze now. Fraze gonna gather it and enter. Cuts right towards the net, kicks it up to his stick. Fraze with a shot on the doorstep. Loose puck out of the net, didn't go in. Puck comes back, skips over the stick of Blackburn as the Sabres pick it up with Cumberland back on defense. Feed it cross ice, couldn't connect on the pass. Save there by Quas. The spinning backhand didn't go. Fraze now with the puck, puts it off the boards and down the ice for icing. Face-off picked up by the Sabres. Shot on net. Save Quas on the doorstep. Kicked again by Quas. Flipped up by Warner onto the stick of Huffman. Huffman with McDonald in tow. Across the line to gain in the offensive zone for Fort Wayne. Still has the puck. Taken away now by the Sabres. Fed around. Back to Warner in the neutral zone. Warner, cross-ice pass. Right to McDonald. Puts it in. Back for Llewellyn now. Spins and sends it up to Huffman. Huffman shoves it in the offensive zone. Put back in deep by Huffman. Zaremba on the right-hand side there as they flip the puck around and break out the other way of the Sabres. Back checking there is Max Zaremba. Puts the puck onto Warner's stick. Warner gets one up high but sends it out of danger. Out to Llewellyn. Llewellyn across the blue line towards the net. Llewellyn has it poked off his stick into the corner by the Sabres. 2:30 left here in the first. Fryer now to take it away. Lifts the stick. Huffman tries to backhand it in deep. Can't get anything on it. Picked up by Llewellyn at the blue line. Sabres gain possession of the puck through center ice. Touch passed in deep. As a couple players go for a change here. Warner around the boards trying to get it to Fryer and does. Taken away by the Sabres now. Out wide. Pressured by Warner. Now Kelly. Up to McDonald. Max McDonald. Round one. Loses a handle. Now to Kelly. Shoots one from deep and it's wide left. Puck comes around the boards. And Blackburn there on defense. Cut towards the net. Shot. Squirts through the crease as they take out Quas. Oh, picked up there by Cumberland as he fires one into the official. Kelly to put it around the boards. Kept in by the Sabres. Back down low for Kelly. Kelly taking her time here to find some open ice. Good to slow the pace as she puts it in the neutral zone for Potts. Potts touches it up to Sutherland. And Sutherland in deep for the force. Loses the handle on the puck as the Sabres take it the other way. Blackburn there on defense. Cutting wide and breaking towards the net. Cleared out by Cumberland. Under a minute to play here in the first. 1-1 tie. Sutherland to pick up the loose puck. Puts it ahead and out of the zone. It's going to go all the way down. Tipped. Icing's waved off. Potts, lead skater for the Force. Fed around the boards. Kiefer off the bench to challenge it. Comes to center ice. Picked up by Llewellyn. With speed into the offensive zone. It's going to be offsides on Kiefer. Face-off won by Fraze as he keeps his own puck. Feeds it back to Warner. Kiefer walking it down in the right-hand corner. Puck goes around behind the net. We're under 30 seconds remaining here in the first period. Into the neutral zone for Llewellyn. Flips it ahead. Cross-ice pass connects for the Sabres. Kiefer there to challenge him, give him some trouble though. Taken away by Warner. We're under 10 seconds now. On to Warner's stick, loses it. Sabres enter. Challenged by Llewellyn. Period expires, 1-1 tie after one. Start off for the second period is going to be Llewellyn, Warner with Potts, Fraze, and Kiefer. Face-off won over by the Sabres. Challenged at the blue line by Fraze, taken the other way by Llewellyn. Puck skips across the boards, right on target. Punched to the side by the Sabres goaltender. High off the glass into the neutral zone, past everybody, and down to retrieve that's going to be Mason Llewellyn. Behind the net, shovels it around the board, shot on goal there, save Quas. Flipped out high by Warner, touched up by Kiefer, so it's going to go down for icing. Down on our end of the ice here, the face-off just to the right of Quas. Going to be taken by McDonald. Wins it into the corner. Fed up but not out, kept in by the Sabres, shot on net. Didn't actually get there as Llewellyn blocked that one away. In the corner, the Sabres retrieve it, feed it back. McDonald with possession of the puck, taken away by the Sabres down low. Both players come off their skates. Warner takes one. Sabres spin, shoot, wide. Zaremba there tries to take a stick away, ties up the player for McDonald to come in and steal the puck away. Overskates it as it's taken back by the Sabres. Sabres in the offensive end. It's stolen away now by Fort Wayne, flipped around high, kept in at the blue line. Challenge there by Zaremba, maintains possession of the puck, walks it in, shoots, goes wide. Racing to the boards there. A couple players coming in contact with each other. Llewellyn skating out for a loose puck as it's picked up by Warner down deep. And now on to the stick of the Sabres, feeding the slot, nobody home, spinning attempt here, shot is wide of the net. Flipped up by Zaremba, kept in at the blue line once again by the Sabres, shot from deep, tipped around, didn't make it to the net, picked up by Llewellyn. Stolen away by the Sabres. Making a move, block shot or pass attempt there by Llewellyn as he picks it up behind the net, throws it off the boards. Kept in once again by the Sabres. Puck comes down to the middle for Warner. Warner flips it off the boards, kept in again by the Sabres. Offensive sustained pressure here by the Sabre team as Fort Wayne can't clear it out. 10.5 minutes here left in the second. Zaremba touches up to Warner, kept in again by the Sabres. On net, kick to the side by Quas as the Sabres pick it up and feed the blue line. Shot from deep, blocked to the side of the skates of Warner. Warner feeds it around low for Llewellyn. Llewellyn reverses it back the other way. Huffman coming to the boards to try to get it out, and finally does. Defensive change here for the Force puts Blackburn and Cumberland on the ice as McDonald ties up the player. And the Sabres advance the other way. Stolen away now by Kelly. Kelly looking for somebody in open ice, finds Cumberland. Cumberland drags it up to himself, enters the offensive zone, shoots one towards the net, goes wide right. Get some fresh legs out there for Fort Wayne on the offensive front as we have 9.5 minutes remaining here in the second. Kept in the blue line by Cumberland. Played with a high stick there by Sutherland as the puck comes out to Blackburn and circle, touches it up to Sutherland. Sutherland towards the net, gets it poked away into the corner, regains possession of the puck down low. Puck loose, Fryer tries to backhand it, gets blocked out in front. Touched up, stopped advancement by Sutherland twice. Puck comes out to the neutral zone for the Sabres. The Sabres break through center ice, challenged by Cumberland and Blackburn. Cumberland takes a stick right out of the player's hand. Blackburn with the puck now, puts it to Cumberland. He feeds it all the way down the ice, and that'll go for icing. Face off to the right of Quas, won by the Sabres, out high, shot, score. Face-off controlled back by Fort Wayne. It's Llewellyn. Feeds it in the offensive zone. Picked up by the Sabres behind the net as they feed it high off the glass. Skips Warner's stick at the blue line and Llewellyn back to retrieve it. Mason feeds it in the neutral zone. That's the offsides there. No call by the official. Backhanded down by the Sabres. Fraze there to apply some pressure. Sabres out front. Loose puck being kicked around behind the net into the corner right of Quas. Fed to the slot, stolen away there by Warner as he flips it up down the ice in the neutral zone and into the offensive end. Icing was waved off as it was tipped. 7.5 minutes remains. Coming in to steal the puck away there was Potts as it comes back to Warner. Warner feeds it up to Fraze. Murphy enters, gets pushed down, taken away by the Sabres. Defended by Llewellyn. Potts there as well. Llewellyn picks up the loose puck, has it knocked off his stick. Kiefer takes the stick for the moment, and the Sabres enter it back in. Back for Warner. I guess I was offsides this time. 7 minutes remains in the second, force down one. Face off one back to Blackburn, touches it over to Cumberland. Cumberland puts it in the offensive zone, gathered up by the Sabres though. As they're back the other direction, taken away by Zaremba as Blackburn pushes it back forward. Sabres now with the puck onto the stick of McDonald, into his skates. Zaremba touches it in the offensive zone. Fed in by Huffman. 6.5 minutes on the clock. Sabres gather the loose puck. Looking to feed it out. Knocked off the stick there by the poke check from Zaremba. Huffman. Now McDonald. Fed in the offensive zone by Huffman, but it's going to be picked up by the Sabres and fed back through the neutral zone onto the stick of Cumberland. Cumberland lifts it high into center ice. Fanned on pass attempt by the Sabres. Now finally gets it off there. Stopped advancement by McDonald. Back and forth the puck goes. Offsides. Faceoff comes back to Warner. Warner fans on a pass attempt, taken away by the Sabres. Cleared away there by Llewellyn. Into the corner now, in the slot. Turning shot attempt, blocked in front by Fryer up high at the blue line. Shot from deep, gloved to the side by Llewellyn. Takes a stick away and gains possession of the puck as he flips it down the ice. It's going to go for icing. Face-off controlled by the Sabres. They flip it past their own players all the way down the ice. Pressuring on the backside here is Fraze with Kiefer and Potts. Feeding it up high. Blackburn touches it up in the neutral zone. Backhands it in. Fraze couldn't quite get back in time. It's going to be offsides. 5 minutes remains here in the second. Force down one. Face-off controlled by Fraze. Fraze breaking out with Potts towards the net. Quick into the offensive zone. Potts backhands one down. It's pad saved by the goaltender, the Sabres. Kept in there by Kiefer. Kiefer now comes off his skates. Puck back and forth along the boards. Blackburn in the mix as well. Puck comes loose out. Blackburn tries to get something on it. Can't. His stick was tied up. Now over to Fraze. Murphy. Now into the stick of Potts. Potts loses the handle on it. He cuts into the corner. Penalty here is coming up. Hooking call on the Sabres, number 21. Power play for the Force with 4:22 here left in the second. Power play unit's going to be McDonald, Zaremba, Huffman, Llewellyn, and Warner. Face-off win by McDonald. Tries to cut towards the net. Backhanded down low by Zaremba. Gathered up by the Sabres and thrown into the neutral zone. Puck tipped. Icing waved off. Llewellyn going to have to retrieve that one. Llewellyn picks it up behind the net. Looking for open ice. Feeds it off the boards. Skips the stick of the Sabres player all the way down in the offensive end. McDonald coming in hot. Picked up by Huffman. Huffman feeds it back in deep. Sabres pick it up in the corner. Sabres behind their net. Reverse. With some open ice now. Pressured by Huffman with McDonald. And Zaremba. Coast to coast now for the Sabres. Tied up in the corner by Llewellyn. Puck goes on net. Kick to the side by Quas. McDonald now with the puck, tries to feed it up ahead, skips over a stick now. Huffman going to pick it up loose with a couple of back checkers. Closing in, shot towards the net, goes wide right. 30 seconds left on the power play for Fort Wayne. McDonald grabs the loose puck and cuts towards the net. Swinging wide towards the center, feeds it over to Zaremba, shot. I don't know if that was in or not. It looked like it caught in the top of the net. Another chance there by Zaremba. Now gathering up is Huffman. Backhands it right into Zaremba. Trying to get a possession of the puck here as the Sabres come away with it. Feed it to center ice for Llewellyn. Out of the box come the Sabres. Back to full strength hockey as Zaremba enters the offensive zone with McDonald. Coming in deep. Cranked back by Warner. Blocked in front. We got to break out the other way. Warner lifts his stick. Player comes off his skates, picked up by Llewellyn. Opportunity there for the Sabres and came off his edge. Puck comes around by the Sabres as they feed it towards center ice. Blackburn going to be in a race with two players there. Who's coming away with the puck. Knocked to the side there by Warner. Kept in at the blue line by the Sabres. Shot from deep. Glove down by Blackburn. Fed back off the boards. And tipped in the neutral zone. Picked up by Kelly. We got a 3-on-1 the other way with Fryer and Sutherland. Onto the stick of Fryer. Fryer towards the net. Shoots. Off target. Fed to the crease. Kicked to the side by the Sabres goaltender. Pressured by Sutherland in the corner. Picking up the loose puck is the Sabres with Cumberland and Blackburn back on defense. Minute and a half to play here in the second. Fed around the boards by Sutherland over to Kelly. Kelly has it stolen away. Sabres in the corner looking to make something happen here behind the net now. Pressured by Blackburn. Fed out front. I think that's covered up by Quas. Some pushing and shoving going on. Minute 14 remains in the second. Sabres up 1. Face-off picked up by the Sabres, fed to the blue line, shot from deep on a line, blocked up high by Warner. Loose puck along the boards. Chipped ahead by Fraze, collected by the Sabres at the center ice point. The red line under a minute to go here in the second as the puck's fed back down the offensive zone for Fort Wayne. Sabres gather and look to break out. Picked up by Warner now, the defensive end. Reverses direction, high off the glass to Kiefer. Kiefer to Fraze. Fraze with 40 seconds remains. Patiently waiting, makes something happen. Feeds the crease. Llewellyn coming in to try to pick it up. Sabres clear it out. Now on the stick of Llewellyn. Feeds it back cross ice into the corner for Kiefer. Kiefer tied up. Llewellyn keeps it in. Sends it back down deep. Skips over Potts' stick and collected by the Sabres behind their net. Around the boards it goes. Racing over to pinch that off is Kiefer. Takes it away. Walks the line. Feeds Fraze. Fraze out front. 10 seconds remaining. Takes a shot. Couldn't get anything on it. Kiefer now with it. Squirts wide right of the net. Potts around behind to try to gather it. We're under 5 seconds now as Kiefer picks it up and it goes into the corner. Period's going to expire. Force down 1 after 2. We're going to need a strong third period out of the Force here, down 1 goal. On the ice to start the third period is going to be Zaremba with McDonald and Sutherland, with Blackburn and Cumberland back on defense. No, that's not Sutherland. That is Huffman. I said I'm at a bad angle. A little difficult to see. Face off one back by the Sabres as they enter the offensive zone. Stolen away there by McDonald. They're going to get him on an offsides possibly. Clean game this far by the Force. 2 power plays for them, down 1 goal. Picked up behind the net by Cumberland, pressured by Sabres player as Zaremba tips it ahead. Shot from deep, tipped on net, save Quas. This puck took a weird bounce and he kept his eye on it, covered that one up. Face off one back by the Sabres. Challenge there by Huffman. Now McDonald rides player into the corner. Round behind the net, going to be gathered up by Blackburn. He's got Zaremba up ahead, touches it to him. Taken back by the Sabres onto the stick of Cumberland now. Cumberland with Huffman. Swings wide. Poke checked. It's off his stick and Sabres back the other way with Max McDonald and Blackburn back on defense. Stolen away by McDonald. He gets tripped up. We're going to have another penalty here on the Sabres as Zaremba is racing ahead. Off the ice is Quas as we enter, and we get a whistle here that'll put the Force back on another power play. 11:54 remaining in the third, down 1 goal. Power play unit for the Force is going to be Kelly, Fryer, Sutherland, Warner, and Llewellyn. Face-off won by the Sabres, fed up, kept in by Llewellyn at the blue line on the stick of Sutherland. Sutherland fighting to gain possession back of the puck. Swings it wide, has it knocked off his stick. Llewellyn keeps it in. Sutherland picks up the loose puck, races towards the net, fires one, blocked. Before has a chance to reach the goaltender. Sutherland feeds it up to the blue line. Llewellyn slaps one down low. Around the boards it goes. Warner attempts to keep it in at the blue line, gathers the puck though in the neutral zone, spins and fires it right at Coach Potts. He got out of the way in time as the puck lands in the force bench. .56 seconds remains on the power play. Face off onto the stick of Warner. Touches it up to Fraze. What do we have here? We're going to have a penalty on Warner. 11:11 remaining in the third is going to put a 4-on-4 hockey for 48 seconds as Warner picks up a penalty here for Fort Wayne. Face-off won and controlled by Fraze. Murphy pushes the puck to open ice, got Potts ahead of him. Swings it wide around a couple players, cuts towards the net, shoots one. Yeah, hooked weird. Shot kept in now by the Sabres as they pick it up loose in the corner. Coming up high to Blackburn, he steps up to try to take it away. Sabres maintain possession of the puck through center ice, enter their offensive zone. Puck loose. Cumberland taking a player into the corner. 10 seconds left on 4-on-4 hockey. Puck comes out for Fraze. Out of the box comes the Sabres player. So now down a skater on the penalty kill. Shot, score! Murphy Fraze with his second of the game. Short-handed. Ties it up. 35 seconds still remaining on the Warner penalty. Short-handed goal by Fraze. His second of the game. Zaremba comes over to steal it away on the stick, and Max McDonald cuts through center ice. Short-handed attack again. McDonald swings wide, reverses. Towards net, backhands one up, on net, save initially, kicked to the side by the Sabres. Caught him off guard as the goaltender, I don't think, saw that one coming. Under 10 seconds left on the Warner penalty as McDonald knocks it off their stick. Back through center ice. Out of the boxes, Warner. Shot, save, Quas on the doorstep, cleared away by Llewellyn. Open net on the backside, scoring attempt save there by Mason. Walking it down now, fans on a shot attempt, picked up by McDonald. McDonald throws to center ice, but Sabres player is there, enters back in the offensive zone, cuts towards center ice, tied up there by Llewellyn, over to Zaremba. Picks up the puck and chips it down the ice in the offensive zone. Huffman going to be the lead skater there for Fort Wayne with McDonald. Kelly off the bench now. McDonald picks up the loose puck, cuts it towards center ice, toe drags, loses a handle on it. Kelly shoots one from deep, high up over the net. Under 9 minutes now to play. Tie game, 2-2. Kepan for the moment. Sabres pick it up, throw it to center ice. Back on defense is going to be Warner with Llewellyn. Sabres go for a change, so they leave the guy entering by himself, tied up by Warner in the corner, flip back into the neutral zone. Change for the Force. As Sutherland comes in hot, Kelly picks it up. Sutherland on the doorstep there, try to feed it to him, comes down for Huffman, kicked around, covered up by the goaltender from the Sabres. 8:19 remains in the third. At the blue line, Warner keeps it in. Sutherland fighting for position here. Comes into Fryer. Fryer feeds it to center ice. Flipped out in the neutral zone by the Sabres. Racing back to gather this up is going to be Warner. Gets possession of the puck. Has it taken away. Steals it back. Knocked off his skates. Up into the chest of Sutherland as he knocks it down on the ice and is going to race back the other way with some speed here. Cutting wide, Sutherland towards the net, feeds it around one player, loses a handle at the last moment. Turns and fires it behind the net. Fryer over to gather it for Fort Wayne. He's rode into the boards, taken away by the Sabres as they advance up the ice. Entered and swung wide by the Sabres, taken away by Sutherland, puts it into the neutral zone. Kelly racing after it. Kelly going to pick it up. Kelly towards the net, fires one, off the post. Flipped in deep by Fryer, round behind the net. Sutherland going to pressure here, comes up, kept in by the Sabres, and now onto the stick of Cumberland. Cumberland feeds it ahead to Fryer. Fryer touching the offensive zone. Sutherland up ahead for Fort Wayne. Takes a stick away, gets the puck, tries to feed the crease. Couldn't get anything on it. Sabres back the other way. Under 7 minutes to play. Blackburn and Cumberland back on defense. Blackburn swipes it to the corner. Kelly there, pick up the loose puck. Kelly advancing down the ice with Sutherland and Fryer. Loses a handle on it for the moment, but feeds it in onto the stick of Sutherland. Fryer couldn't find the puck, almost went right through his legs. Caused enough of disruption, though, to where it can be picked up now by Sutherland. Hot off the bench here is Kiefer, fresh legs, fast speed. Stopped advancement by the Sabres. Puck is being moved around now by both teams. Gathered by Llewellyn. Llewellyn enters. Llewellyn with a shot from deep. On the doorstep, picked up loose. Out in front by the Sabres, under 6 minutes to play. Back for Warner. Warner feeds Kiefer, touched in the offensive zone. Back to gather the Sabres. Flip back up the ice to Warner. Warner feeds Kiefer once again. Onto the stick now of Fraze. Fraze in the offensive zone. Toe drags. Loses possession of it. Fed down deep by Llewellyn, now on the stick of Fraze. Turns and tries to fire a shot, goes wide right. Picked up by the Sabres, pressured by Potts. Kept in by Potts. Sabres gather it now. Come into Llewellyn, back for Warner. Warner around one player here. He's going to see some open ice and take the opportunity to enter it himself. Warner shoved into the corner. Almost a penalty called here. The official had his hand almost going up. Sabres the other way. Under 5 minutes. Shot wide. Fed to the crease, blocked by Fraze and Warner. Up high at the blue line by the Sabres. Walking in. Defended well there by Kiefer. Oh, there we go. Push down from a player. From the Sabres, picked up by Fraze. Fraze going to take it with speed with Kiefer. Fraze looking for his third. Fraze swings wide. Only one more to beat in the goaltender. Toe drag shot. Score! Murphy Fraze with a hat trick. Fraze is on fire. Couple nifty moves there by Murphy. Beats them all. Put the force up one with under 5 minutes here. Another shot on net there by Huffman into the glove of the goaltender from the Sabres. Face off, loose in the corner, picked up by McDonald. He's challenged by a couple Sabres players. Still maintaining possession of the puck. Couple out in front of the net there. That's Zaremba and Huffman. Back into the deep corner to the left of the goaltender. Flipped up into the neutral zone. Back on defense is going to be Cumberland and Blackburn. Cumberland stops the advancement of the players, kicks it up to himself. Has some open ice. It's going to be one on the whole team. As Aiden's there by himself, has it poked off his stick. McDonald there to pick it up. Feeds it to Zaremba, and he fires a shot that goes off the side of the net. And back the other way go the Sabres. They got one out front. Blackburn pressuring here and stops that pass attempt. Comes over to Cumberland. Cumberland looks to fire it around the boards. Zaremba there for Fort Wayne. Puck comes to Blackburn. He tries to feed it ahead. Taken away by the Sabres, and now Zaremba fighting for the loose puck. Comes to the neutral zone. Huffman, the lead skater for Fort Wayne, under 3 minutes now, force up one. We're going to get a penalty here on Huffman. We have a slashing penalty on Gia. 2:48 remains. They're going to have a minute and a half penalty, so our penalty killers for this one are going to be Llewellyn and Warner, with Kelly and Sutherland. Face-off one back by Sutherland, flips it off the glass and down the ice. Good clear out by Sutherland. Kelly on her horse to apply some pressure here. Good speed burst by her to not let him gather it up safely. Feeding it cross ice, shot from deep, tipped around behind the net. Warner going to get there for Fort Wayne, takes the puck away and rips it around the boards. Kept in at the blue line by the Sabres. They shoot another shot, blocked in front by Warner, picked up by Sutherland. 2-on-2 the other way, short-handed. Warner has it stolen away, and we got a breakaway now. Going right towards Quas. Shot. Save, Quas! Covers it up. Timely save there by Wyatt at 2:05 remaining in the third. When you need the kid, he shows up. Fryer and Sutherland with Blackburn and Cumberland on the ice now. Under the 2-minute mark as the puck's gathered up by Cumberland in the corner. Fed to center ice, tipped ahead by Fryer, taken away by the Sabres. Swinging wide. 30 seconds remains on the Huffman penalty. Puck in deep for Cumberland. Eating time up here as Cumberland tries to flip it ahead. Now Fryer joins the mix, and the puck's all the way down the ice, which is perfect for Fort Wayne, as we're going to make them skate this one out. Minute and a half remains, 10 seconds on the penalty. Possession now for the Sabres, challenged by Fryer. Fryer stops their advancement. Out of the box is Huffman. Onto the ice for Huffman is Fraze, and now Fryer steals it away. 1-on-2 the other way. Fryer onto the stick of Fraze. Murphy now, fresh legs off the bench, cuts it towards the net. Murphy looking for his fourth. Goes off the goaltender and into the corner. 1 minute remains in this period. 1 minute on the clock. Taken away now by the Sabres. Fed cross ice into the skates of Fraze. Fraze enters the offensive zone once again. Touches it in deep. Sutherland there up ahead for Fort Wayne as the Sabres round it around the boards. Center ice for Blackburn. Blackburn has it knocked off his stick. Sabres enter. Stops the advancement. Shot off the side of the net. Player rode into the boards under 30 seconds. The player's down on the end of the ice, but possession is Fort Wayne. Kid's going to get up. Looks like he's going to skate towards the bench. Fraze trying to toe drag once again. Loses it. Gains possession back along the wall. Dumps it in deep. We're at 15 seconds remaining in the game now as Kiefer picks up the loose puck. Ahead one. Tying him up down low is Potts. Now Fraze. One breakout attempt left here with 5 seconds left. Are they going to fire one from the blue line? They do. Save by Quas out front. Game expires. Force take game 2. 1 goal lead. 3-2 for Wayne. Our game tomorrow, I don't know if everybody saw, but anybody watching, I think they pushed it back an hour. It's at 1 p.m. now instead of noon Central Time. So keep that in mind. My live stream time was wrong. I will fix that a little bit later, but yeah, we had a move on the time, and I'm pretty sure it was an hour back instead of an hour forward. So tune in tomorrow for game 3. Force are 1-1 on Saturday play, and then the rest of the games will be determined at a later time. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you back tomorrow.